Oh, welcome to another episode of the Park Bench. My name is C Parks.
Hey,
You were muted. Say it again. I missed
I'm
the.
Golden Rose. Hey,
I clicked, but I missed. I missed the button when I went to click. It's because I told you the sound for whatever reason wasn't coming through my headphones. It was coming through my speaker, so I was completely unprepared. Boop for the cues of the music.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
While we were doing the pre-show, I got rid of 53 games on my wish list, and
Whoa.
I could probably get rid of more. You gotta pay attention. I gotta pay attention to the show, and not just have to do mental calculations of whether or not I think this atmospheric walking sim from 2014 is worth keeping on my wish list or not. But what's up?
You should do when you go live for the first time on Twitch again after however many years. Your stream should just be purging your wish list, and it'll be like a 24-hour stream.
Yeah. All right, let's try to break this down. There's too many games, and I I'm a person who just likes a lot of things, and I want to like things. I want to give things the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. It's also I personally just use the Steam wish list a lot of times, more recently now, just to keep track of stuff. It might not even be like things where I like really am considering getting. It's just like, oh, I want to keep track of this just in case.
100%. There's plenty of times where I'm like, I see game in early access, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna add this to my wish list, and I'm gonna hopefully when it comes out double back on it and see like what are people thinking about now. And maybe that will be like the thing that pushes me over the edge. But we were talking like a couple weeks ago about how like December really doesn't have anything. And I got, part of the show today talking about that. What I didn't expect, what I don't have on the docket was that fucking yesterday, the game that I decided to play on a whim, the Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, was like, hey, free update, 1.1 free DLC, and also paid DLC out next week. I went, what? They're like, they added a whole new fucking act, a whole new side, like 10 to 12 hour side area. Like again, old Elder Scrolls style. Like this is their like you seem to be going to a kind of more Eldritch inspired place, which is neat. But I'm like, you give me more lead up so I can figure out what I'm doing. And now I'm in the weird place where I'm like, do I want to finish the game? Because I'm in Act 3. Do I want to finish the game and then run back to the DLC? Or do I now just fucking not play this game for a week, get the DLC, do the DLC, and then finish the game? So that's what the heck?
The Eldritch Scrolls. Somebody should do that.
Somebody should do that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good for them looking at December and being like, hey, nobody else is doing anything. People aren't spending their money anywhere else. Let's make them spend our money with us. With this paid
100%.
DLC. Good for them. So I guess you've been playing that this week, huh? More?
I played a little bit of that. Played some more Vermintide as a hangout game with some friends. What I really want, and I haven't been able to get my friends to jump in yet, I really want to play the Elden Ring Night Rain DLC.
Okay. Because
I've been watching people play it, man. It looks hard as fuck. I can't wait.
Yeah, you all played through it together to begin with, too.
It's also weird. Have you gone to the Night Rain DLC's like Steam page?
No, not their Steam page.
It doesn't really matter for it, but the game is $15, and I don't mean $14.99. I mean 15.00. And that is weird.
That is weird.
It's just unsettling.
Very rarely do you see the perfectly round number like that. And it is a little weird to see, huh? I haven't played jack shit that I can remember.
No?
Actually, I think I did. I think I played games in the last week. I just don't remember anything because my body and mind is so tired and sore from work. I think I've done 4 straight work days of 11 or more hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts.
Believe it. That's not fun.
I'm tired.
You know what will might pick up your spirits a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I should have put it on the docket on my indie games out today. Do you know what indie game came out today?
Hold on, let me think.
For you.
Is it a fishing one?
Nope.
Okay, what is it?
Ultimate Sheep thing.
Oh, I did see that actually. Yeah. Ultimate Raccoon Sheep?
Yep, that sounds about right.
I think it's on Game Pass also.
I was going through my my like, you know, games I had wish listed that were coming out, and I was like, oh hey, I was like, this game I played the prequel. I played the prequel. That's what we'll call it. At Chris's house forever ago.
Yeah, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is out today. Yeah, I'm interested in that for sure. Conceptually, I like what like it makes sense to me, like what they've done with this game, but I just don't know if I'll like it any more than the original game, because like the original game is, oh my god, Ultimate Chicken Horse, and now it's Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. Chicken Horse is just like a platformer, whereas Sheep Raccoon is like on bicycles, which is just gonna like change the flow of it.
Did you know if it controls the same, or does it control like wackily, like
I don't know,
like Ollie or something?
I don't know. I'll report back. You know what? There's 2 games that I really want to try to play. Both of them are friend games. I'm going to try to do this before the next show. Actually, there's 3, but I'm only like one of... I'll mention all 3 anyway. Lethal Company is one. I've been, for whatever reason, I don't know why, Lethal Company feels like a holiday game to me. I've never played it.
Okay.
Never played it. Feels like a holiday season game. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. Now that's out. I want to play that because I played a bunch of Chicken Horse with Tara. She's not as interested in this one, but I still want to give it a shot. And then also Lego Party.
Yeah. I think Lego Party, I don't know if it's still on sale. I thought it was on sale like yesterday, and I almost picked it up. But again, buying too many things. Adding too many things.
Yeah, I can play it with Netflix, which, you know, that might be something that we talk about in the show today. Well, we can talk about that. Let's look at our topics. Let's look at these topics today. Netflix to buy Warner Brothers.
Maybe, or maybe not.
Or are they? That was. We'll get into it more, but that's a wild situation. How does Switch 2 do?
How does Switch 2 do?
Metroid is out. Reviews are out for it, and I think that's like the last big game of the year for Switch 2. So I just want to talk about how the Switch 2 did in comparison to Switch 1 and whatever. Next on the docket, horses.
Yeah.
What's your favorite breed?
Can I tell you something in the trust tree? Just you and I.
Just us. This is just us.
The internet doesn't need to know this.
Nope.
I don't think I understand anything about horses. I was like, oh, there are different, like, I understand conceptually there are different horse breeds, like there are different dog breeds, I think.
Yep.
But They're just different colors? Question mark. Do they have other different things about it? I don't know. Do they have different mechanics? Are different horses better at certain things?
Let me show
I
you.
have no fucking.
Let me show you this beast. Hold on.
They're stallions.
Where is this? Look at this. Hold on, because there's like your standard looking horses, but there's you know what, we're just gonna go through this list here of horses real quick.
Okay, you show me Ogre.
I'm gonna I should bring up Ogre Cap and oh my god, I can't remember their names right now because I'm staring at.
Show me the Umas with vodka. There we go.
10 largest horse breeds. The Shire. It's hard because they don't show this. It's like a bad perspective, but this thing, 1,800 to 2,400 pounds.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Chris, look at all these horses, and I ask yourself, if you were a horse, which one would you want to be? I need that at the end of this.
Maybe this guy right here, the Dutch Draft.
Ooh.
Look at them boots.
You know what? These two feel considerably different from each other. More different than I thought they would look.
Like the American Cream. It's not the American Dream. The Australian. Are these all beers? Are these just beers?
Maybe. Humans aren't that inventive when naming things.
It's so true. It's so true. These are just kneecaps.
Ooh, I like that one. I like the snow one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this one. I thought you were talking about the boots. Because you're a little
snow ones.
You're a little delayed. So like I hovered over the article like this, where you could just see these this woman's kneecaps, and you were like, "Ooh, I like that one."
But I am convinced you're also showing me a horse here.
Anyway,
the Jutland is Bolivian. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
Horses do look different. Now we know.
Yeah. But you're going to talk about the game, the band game. Harada has left Bandai Namco. Tekken God Guru creator, the Tekken guy, is leaving. I think that was announced this morning too, fresh off the press.
Very online Harada.
Indie games out today. We'll talk about the indie games that are out today. And then the Game Award Monolith mystery is seemingly solved. We'll know more in 2 days. But it seems like we have figured out what game it is tied to.
We'll probably use that time to talk about more Game Awards prediction stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. First up, Netflix to buy Warner Bros.
It's thematically interesting that I feel as though I definitely do it, and I think you do it too. A lot of the times we start these shows on a downer note. we open up with topic one is almost always something that is just annoying and I think the reason a lot of times is because that's the biggest gaming news, unfortunately, is sad. And then we get to the end of the show and we try to bring it up a little bit. But a lot of the show starts with bad news because there's just always bad news in the gaming industry, I think, and that's the biggest topic. But this affects more than just games. Yeah, this is a wide industry wide, multi-industry wide acquisition if it goes through. So to go through it, Netflix or Warner Brothers Discovery was we're going to sell the Warner Brothers half of us, because Warner Brothers just get shopped around all the time. They just don't fucking seem like they're capable of existing. Don't know why. There are big number things that I don't inherently have the economic understanding to understand why. Warner Brothers isn't profitable enough to just exist. Whatever. It's a
Yeah,
big
because
giant IP.
it's got to be. It's got to be poor management. Like it was.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be that it was just completely mishandled because like this would never happen to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And Warner Brothers is a massive company, just like Disney, with plenty of iconic characters, just like Disney, that have been around for longer than either of us have been alive, just like Disney. Like the characters and IPs that the Warner Brothers owns and created has been popular for way too long for Disney to go where it's gone and Warner Brothers to go where it's going for Warner Brothers to be doing things correctly.
Do you think they're not? This is like an aside before we get to like just going deeper on this. Do you think they're not being a Warner Brothers like theme park, like in earnest, like a destination, like makes it less of a like you don't have Warner Brothers adults in the same way that you have Disney adults,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have these like people like, well, like, oh, I like Warner Brothers enough. Like, and there's plenty of people like Looney Tunes obviously is like the thing, but why didn't we have a Looney Tunes fucking theme park 50 years ago?
Yeah, you very I feel like you very easily could have just had the Warner Brothers theme park with the water tower and all that. Every once in a while it opens up and the Animaniacs pop out or something. I don't know. Like animatronic Animaniacs, and they just like run around and they like kill people. But yeah, it's one of those things that I look at and just think that when Disney was like, hey, we're making a theme park, Warner Brothers had to have looked at that and been like, what a bunch of morons, idiots opening up a theme park. And then it was a massive, massive success and just keeps growing and growing. And they're still like, eh.
It's just, it's bizarre. All right. To go more in depth, Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes, DC, Harry Potter, like movie games.
Yeah.
I don't remember where Lord of the Rings stands right now. I think it's maybe Amazon known. But it does, or maybe licensed. That's more out of my wheelhouse right now. And plenty of other big tentpole franchises that we know exist. It's being sold off again, and the way these things work is that there's a big like auction like thing to get the right to make an exclusive deal. Like there's like to get into the negotiation phase.
Mm-hmm.
All these companies bid and go like, okay, well, we're willing to spend X amount of money. Then the winner of that then gets to be the person that's like, all right, now let's actually figure out what this deal really means and how it's going to work. And Netflix won that. The big parties were Netflix, Paramount, which we'll get into, Comcast. That's what I got for the big three, at least. I'm sure there were other ones, probably Amazon, probably, whatever. Netflix ends up winning the exclusive bid, and they're like, we're gonna fucking buy Warner Brothers. If you have a Netflix subscription, you should have gotten an email that they're like, we're buying Warner Brothers. This is what it means.
Let's see.
Which has incredible ramifications on, like, incredible in the way that, like, unbelievable ramifications on so many things. When you look at Warner Brothers, most people think movies first. How this affects theater, like a company like Netflix affects like theater chains, how it affects how movies are made and distributed, is obviously that's the big concern with Netflix. And Mr. Netflix over there is like, oh, we're like actually saving movies, which, fucking in his own delusion, capitalist nightmare, he probably actually believes. that's happening. And at the I'm going to stick with Netflix first before we get into the other part. I think that makes the better way to handle the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In this statement, I don't know if how much you've read in it. Netflix very, very barely even talks about the fact that they're going to be owning all the WB game studios.
Yeah.
It's just like and across other WB like media to form like something like that. Which isn't ideal.
No, the article here that I have is just Netflix didn't attribute any value to Warner Brothers Games business. And yeah, I did see in here, some of their statement is like, basically all they know is the Hogwarts game.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they're like, we're super excited for some of those properties, but they've done great work in the games space. We actually didn't attribute any value to that because they're relatively minor compared to the grand scheme of things. Like, cool. And then they name Hogwarts, which is like, oh, the only thing that they know is the highest selling game from 2023. Cool. That's the only thing that they know. Great. Yeah, it is concerning for WB Games to be owned by these people that were like, yeah, we put zero value on you. Good job. Zero value.
Let's just okay, like, and we get like WB Game Studios their track record recently hasn't been the highest. It's not they haven't been doing the best. I think we talked about it way or like I don't know, third or fourth show about WB, a decision happening with WB Game Studios where they kind of lucked into Hogwarts Legacy being as big as it was, while in the same time failing Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad. They just can't seem to figure out how to make the DC brand work.
Multiverse is shut down.
Mortal Kombat is still good, but like even the last Mortal Kombat sold really well, like front loaded wise, but doesn't seem to have the legs of other Mortal Kombats. And they're definitely just in a weird place. Like we talked about, like they had layoffs across different studios because of different games getting canceled and doing poorly. Suicide Squad, and they're not able to like really put together. They're in their like bad Capcom era, it seems. Like when we just before Capcom became good again, and they're kind of floundering. So I understand like when you're a multi-billion to trillion-dollar corporation being like this company that is not making more than millions doesn't concern us, which is fucking unbelievable in my head. Whatever. To be like, oh, we just don't inherently value them. That must fucking suck to hear.
Yep.
If you're any WB game studio. Then I guess like the only silver lining here, I mean, actually, no, let's talk about more bad things first. Netflix history with games isn't really good right now. Most people don't know that if you have a Netflix account, you have some games built into your Netflix subscription.
Yep.
They don't talk about it despite trying to get into the game space. It's not a thing they care to promote or really put a lot of work into, it feels. So the worry there is like, okay, are you just going to make all these WB game studios funnel into this Netflix experience that doesn't feel like it has value, I guess, other than to like artificially create value? Like you're just making like, oh yeah, look at how much games our service has. Like has all these WB games, but like that's not where they're going to be making money. That's a big worry. Have you played a Netflix game?
I've played a game on Netflix, yes.
Hell yeah. Did it play well? Did it feel well? Did it?
The game that I played was, I think it's called Storyteller. Let me just look that up real quick. Storyteller. You can also get it on mobile. Tara and I both played it, actually. We played it on mobile and through Netflix on our projector. And it is a game that, unless it was like egregious, you wouldn't be able to tell like that it's coming through like a streaming service.
Okay.
Because it's just like a very slow paced like puzzle game. So the experience was fine, perfectly fine playing it on our well, we played it on our projector, but playing it on the TV through the Netflix like app worked perfectly fine. But again, it was the game Storyteller. It's a great game, cute game, pretty easy little puzzle. But yeah, it's like there are 6 panels on the screen and you just like tap through to try to figure out like how to solve the puzzle. And she's like, oh nope.
Mm-hmm.
If I put the king in this situation, that means that the princess dies and we're trying to save the princess. So, you know, like whatever. It's very simple, very basic. Worked fine. But I said at the top of the show, I want to play Lego Party. Lego Party is available on Netflix. And that is one where I think if I try that and play it through Netflix, maybe I'll come back and have a better idea, because there is more going on in that game. And there are mini games that, you know, are won and lost through like reaction time and button mashing and this and that. So if I play that, I'll have a better idea. But I've played Netflix games, but nothing that like I could really like contribute a meaningful conversation to.
Okay. Yeah, it's just worrying, of course, like, you know, that like a lot of these acquisition brands have a history of like, now that we own this, you have to now exist on our platform only. You know, and we're starting to get out of that conversation a little bit with Microsoft. That's a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm just thinking about like, you know, you put Mortal Kombat or Injustice on Netflix, and like that doesn't do like that does that move the needle? I don't know. Regardless, I guess silver lining here, and this only works for a little bit, is that when a multi-billion-dollar acquisition like this happens, a lot of the middle-sized studios tend to have a little bit more freedom until things go horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Where because they get looked again, they're looked over, so they have a little bit more like, okay, well, like they're not keeping a firm eye on us because we're only $1 million maker instead of $1 billion maker, or multi-million. So we have a little bit more like experimental stuff. That's kind of a silver lining, but again, that only lasts until you start to be in the red significantly, and then they're like, all right, this has no value at all, let's cut it out. The other, like, I guess I don't know how much Netflix cares about some of the IP. In a perfect world, like Ed Boon finds a fucking way to buy NetherRealm with the Mortal Kombat license, and goes off on his own and partners with, I don't know, Midway. No.
What a crazy suggestion.
Finds like some sort of like freedom there, because I can't imagine, like, of course losing the DC license would probably not be the best for them, but as of Warner Brothers Game Studios, NetherRealm sticks out as making consistent quality games that make money with an established IP that is all to their own. They feel like the most secure, but also maybe one that is at most at risk a little bit, like with like the oversight.
I would think that of all the teams that Warner Brothers has now sucked under its umbrella, NetherRealm is the one that would be affected the least based on like the employee and like the company size, because I think they are somebody who is like on a semi-consistent schedule with their own IP, Mortal Kombat, and also the DC IP that they make, and they're constantly like well regarded and sell well. So I feel like Netflix would be like, all right, we like you make money. But then also with that, I feel like they hold enough weight to hopefully help pave a way where it's just like we can't just stick to your Netflix platform. You have to release us all across everything, because like that's how you're gonna make money. Like that's how you're gonna do it. But then you know what? Netflix could also turn around and be like, actually, because I could see Netflix, now that they own these game studios with all these IPs and they're like backlogs of all these games, could just go ahead and just make a spin-off of Netflix for a cloud streaming like game service. And like maybe it's included in Netflix. Maybe it's like a Game Pass thing where it's just like, hey, if you have Netflix, you have the basic version. Or if you pay an extra $5 a month, you get this version. And this version comes with these games. And maybe Netflix utilizes NetherRealm as like the marquee player to be like, this is why you come to our service, which sucks because nobody wants to play fighting games on a cloud streaming service.
Hear me out. The net box.
You're suggesting Netflix create a TV set box.
Where you can, on this box, you have
Netflix.
You can stream. you have Netflix and you have Netflix owned video games. There you go.
It has a hard drive where you can download the Netflix movies and TV shows to, or the Netflix games. Great. I love this.
It's gonna do well. It's gonna do really, really well.
Yeah. I am worried about the teams though. Across Warner Brothers, I can't imagine in the next 2 months, 3 months, whatever, like we don't hear about layoffs in Warner Brothers games.
For sure. Let me see real quick. For IPs that
especially for a company that's like, we've put no value into you in the work you've done in your teams and the games that you've made. We actually didn't consider you at all in our pitch, so we don't need you.
Which one is the Hogwarts dev? I just want to.
I forget who made that.
I just want this for the Avalanche. Okay, cool.
Avalanche. Yes, there are 2 Avalanches, I believe. One of them made the Hogwarts game.
So Warner Brothers Game Studios is Avalanche Software, which is Hogwarts Legacy, NetherRealm, which we talked about, Rocksteady, which famously Batman Arkham franchise, and Suicide Squad. TT Games, Traveler's Tale.
Yeah.
Which is the cooler name, does a lot of the Legos. And then you have like the WB Games Montreal, Boston, New York, which I think I can't name specifically. I think Montreal did Gotham Knights and Arkham Origins. Boston, I'm looking right now, does the Lord of the Rings Online game, like the old one. It's an MMO studio. I don't know how that still exists.
WB Montreal is also though like a shell of a company now.
Yeah. Like
WB Montreal was I forget what they made. Was it Suicide Squad? I think it was.
No, they did Suicide Squad. You're right.
Yeah, so they did Suicide Squad, killed the Justice League. They laid off 99 people after, and I believe that company is now just used to support other companies.
Yeah. Okay. So how it goes is that Montreal did Gotham Knights, and then they helped to make Suicide Squad with Rocksteady.
Okay.
And now they seem to be kind of a support studio. Although they both seem to be working on DC Comics game developed in Unreal Engine 5. So there's that. And then the last studio, Games New York, is that's just a support studio. They don't have a game to their name, which is crazy to think about.
That's crazy. No name, just hit squad of the game developers. So I mean, I'm sick of all these acquisitions. I don't know though. So like, I guess we'll get into it now. So Paramount is looking to do a hostile takeover.
Yes.
I don't know who, of Netflix and Paramount. I don't know who's like the bigger evil.
Paramount obviously has a lot of money in the Trump administration. They have a lot of ties to that. The owner of Paramount right now is the son of what's his name? I don't know. He's a huge Trump donor guy. That being said, Paramount I think also has a lot of ties to Saudi Arabia now. So there's a lot of moral like questions one can have about them. David Eliason, Shari Rosen. Okay, those are names. Anyway, and they recently merged with Skydance. So like these big, another just megacorp. Paramount, in theory, better for movie theater industry and production industry. In theory. But also, capitulates to evil quite a bit. So like that's also like that's like a big moral question. What they do with the games, what if they are interested in the game studios? I also don't think so. I don't think they, other than like giving Saudi media more like, another avenue to whitewash outside of just EA. There's that.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, sick of all these gosh darn mergers and acquisitions, just consolidating all of this media under these like, I don't know, elitist corporations. Like, for lack of better words, like just like all in this like in big money and not having. I mean, like, let not be said, Warner Brothers by itself still big money, but not in the same playing field as like these media tech giants. And Paramount's whole big argument is that like, oh, we are more likely to pass through like monopoly laws as if those matter anymore,
right?
Which is because they have like the Trump administration in their back pocket, so they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get passed through, we're gonna be good. Also, takeovers are wild. Also, just like the fact that like we're just gonna buy out such a significant amount of your stock that we own your company now is crazy. I don't know why you would ever be a public company ever, I think, other than just to like, investor money, which is why you do it. But still at the same time, I'm just like in my brain, and I'm like, I'm such not a capitalist. It's just like, this is my baby. I built this thing. I was just like, why would I want to give up control about this if I had a choice or without a choice? But I don't know. Dark times, more mergers, bad.
Yeah, not good. If whether Netflix or Paramount ends up with the Warner Brothers game studios, I think we see the same path of
Mhm.
of layoffs, game cancellations, and whatnot,
Mhm.
as either company like reassesses and reevaluates its money and its whatever bullshit they put together.
Mhm.
I imagine Netflix will probably cost more. I imagine they increase their price at some point, or it.
Mhm.
All right, so you said earlier
Oh, I have
that
one other thing.
Paramount is, like theoretically like the better pick for like movie theater, like
Mhm.
like that thing. And like the back and forth between that is like, yeah, Netflix, strictly streaming service, like that's their thing. And sometimes when something hits
Mhm.
big on the streaming service, they release it theatrically. Most recently, K-pop Demon Hunters. Paramount has a streaming service, but that's not like their thing. That's not what they were built on, And so like, they make movies that get theatrically released, and then come to the streaming service like a week later or whatever. I'm curious of things with like companies like that who have their streaming services. At what point do they acquire enough to just think that they can fully justify just being the streaming service, and that they're like, we now own enough IP where we can force people to come to our service now, and then when we release something in theaters, it's a little treat.
Yeah, there's definitely like some calculation going on there where it's like, hey, now like you have to be a destination. But like even Disney Plus isn't really doing that. They still it's like a month or 2, 3 months tops, it feels like. But they own
Damn near everything
so much,
else. Yeah.
so much of everything between them, Marvel, Star Wars, 20th Century Fox.
And we talked about it with them forever ago, where like there were talks about like after like whatever acquisitions, that there were going to be like Disney movie theaters, where like Disney was going to create their own movie theater chain, basically, where like if you want to see a Disney movie that gets released, you go to the Disney theater, and in the Disney theater they have like the Iron Man statue, and like it's like an experience for like all the props or whatever that they have, and then you go see the Disney movie. And yeah,
I distinctly remember that coming out during like 2020, when theaters were obviously, COVID was shutting down a lot of theaters, and they repealed the law that made it so production studios could now own theaters as well, distributing methods, which used to not be allowed. I remember that very much being the fear, but I think just streaming as a whole is like a bigger market share now, despite it not necessarily making the amount of money you would make by going to the theater. So like, I think that's the thing. Like, it's like, can you hoard enough IP and charge enough money to make up for a family of three's $15 ticket each? And the amount, like, you have to make that calculations work, which I don't really know how you do. Lastly, I just forgot to bring this up. Very curious to see what happens on the comic side of things with like either of these companies. Netflix owns the Mark Millar's comic brand. That is that his name?
I think so.
Who am I thinking of? Yeah,
you've got Miller correct. I know that. I can nail down the last name in time to like Batman.
I believe he has a company. There's a very famous comic book writer who has a comic book company now that is owned by Netflix, and they're still producing stuff. So that like means that like Netflix at least is partially like already has the comic ecosystem, so maybe DC wouldn't be like thrown away, which I can't imagine any of these companies throwing this away, but it's still possible. Again, like how much money does comics make? As much, like not as much anymore. I'm sorry, I just really want to figure out. No,
Mark Millar, Millarworld.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Maybe.
And so yeah, and they signed a deal with Dark Horse, so it's like now it's like those comic book like companies are getting closer and closer together, which is always weird.
I think I was thinking of a different guy.
Frank. But Mark Millar did work. He worked on like Old Man Logan. I think is like one of his big ones.
Probably Kick-Ass. Kingsman.
Yep. And honest to God, like my silver lining in all this is that Supergirl is already so fucking close to coming out and we're getting a trailer on Thursday, supposedly, that like this acquisition just can't affect it. So even if one of these people, like fingers crossed, wants to throw gun out the window, I still will get my Supergirl movie, I think. So there's that.
Now I'm curious how this could potentially affect the Acme Wile E. Coyote movie. Because that movie was like there was the big thing about it where like it was done and everyone said it was good, and then WB was just like they basically like canned it for like a tax write-off. But a company, it was like given to somebody else basically, and this movie, sure, this movie is coming out, but now I wonder what Netflix play in that could be. Like I'm curious if you know, I don't know the specifics for that movie. Maybe like, you know, Warner Brothers has absolutely no control over what happens with it. So maybe, you know, Netflix, if they buy Warner Brothers, has no control over anything, but that doesn't mean that they could still make a pitch for like bringing it to the service exclusively or whatever. Or if that other company who owns it now, it can maybe like pave their own way and just be like, well, actually, we're also going to release it on this and that or whatever. I don't know. That's a weird one that I have to look into.
Right now, it still says it's slated for August 28th. So that also just might be too soon, coming out too soon for anything to really happen. But that doesn't mean, again, like there's so many backroom deals that could be happening and whatnot. But man, I hope that movie comes out and is good. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, another just bleak story. Like, it's hard to just continuously get angry at all the same things. I just want good art to be made. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wiki for Coyote vs. Acme. Production companies involved. So it's distributed by Ketchup, like you said. The production company is involved. Warner Brothers Pictures, Warner Brothers Pictures Animation, and then the last one, and mind you, this is all one production company I'm about to say, 2 monkeys, a goat, and another dead monkey.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
And there is no wiki page for them because they are not highlighted. So I'm gonna search 2 monkeys.
It's a James Gunn production company.
Okay, that's
there you go.
The name fits, I guess.
Which I think might just be one of those it happens a lot in music, where, like a vanity label, where like someone with a name is able to like have like, you know, is able to get, they're able to pick or choose like one or two projects that they're just like, this is, I'm like, I'm gonna help this one. I don't know, you see it in music all the time, where like an artist under someone like Universal or something like that will be given like a sub label where they're like able to just like, oh yeah, you're signed to like Kesha's label instead of being signed to the big Universal or whatever.
Sure.
But dude, I don't know, pretty crazy. That's a crazy name.
I'm excited for that movie, and I hope nothing happens to it because of this stupid deal.
Well, we don't know how. I got this. We don't know how well Netflix's acquisition of Warner Brothers or Paramount's acquisition of Warner Brothers is going to go, but we do know how well the Switch 2 has done in its first 6 months.
We do know because we have one, and we've played it, and we've done the extensive research. Both of us have done the extensive research on the numbers of the 1 and the 2.
Yes.
That's about it. Metroid Prime came out. Metroid Prime 4.
It did.
And that is kind of like the end marker for my brain, at least for this topic, of Switch 2's year. Yes. Switch 2 came out 8 months ago? And the Switch 1 is a little harder to compare because it came out earlier in the year. So if you just, like, I think it was a March release. So if you just compare, like, year 1, like, until the end of December, Switch 1 has a couple more months. But, yeah, I want to just talk about, like, I guess, Switch 1, Switch 2, talk about Switch 2 and how its first year went, and then compare it to Switch 1 and like what are some like fair assessments we can make. So Switch 2, its big 3 in my mind: Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Those are my big 3. Which is like, like, especially with how well Donkey Kong did. That's a good big 3. Yeah, I don't know if it should be, but it's still cool. It's a great game, received really well. But it was just a really good year of video games. I'm not knocking Donkey Kong.
Why is Pokemon being on both Switch 1 and Switch 2 not getting rid of it for this conversation?
Why is it getting rid of it?
No, like, so like for the big 3. Like in theory, like Pokemon being Pokemon the brand being and selling as well as it does. Is it just Metroid Prime is exclusively Switch 2? No, you can play that on the Switch 1 as well. So I'm just saying there is an argument here that Pokemon should be in one of these in this category, but I get it not being here at the same time. So
I don't put ZA in the category. I think, and that's why this is the one game why I tried to word it where I'm like, these are my big 3, because I was just like, I think Pokemon ZA, even though it's like technically like a spin-off game, it doesn't fit my like big 3. But part of my argument, not my argument, but part of the conversation I was going to have was with those big 3 for me. I look at those because of their marketing. And like, just like the impact in my brain, I guess, I'll just go with that. The impact in my brain.
Totally fair.
ZA doesn't get the same kind of marketing as Generation 10 will get. Mm-hmm. But this year also, aside from the big three, has like those two big support titles of Legend ZA and Hyrule Warriors.
Yes.
So with and then Kirby Air Riders, which is I don't even know where to put that. It's a support for sure, but like, is that even another level below ZA and Hyrule Warriors? Because like, again, the marketing is just Sakurai, and then maybe that's all you need, really. But I think those, what do we just say, 6 titles are a very good year for Nintendo. And then on top of that, so like if you're just looking at like the catalog of Switch 2 games, you can also include Silksong and Hades 2, which is, you know, if you look at those 8 games, that's a great 8 games to play year one. Some might say it's more games than the PlayStation 5 has. Which is,
and they would technically be raw.
But yeah, those are 8 like high quality games. Again, in my mind, I put Legend ZA like a step below, half step below maybe, and then like same with Hyrule Warriors. They're both good games. They're just not like the marquee title of those franchises, I guess. And then for reviews, Mario Kart World reviewed well, Donkey Kong Bonanza reviewed very well, and Metroid Prime 4 is reviewed like fairly well. I think the reviews for 4 have been kind of in line with where Hyrule Warriors and ZA is. Although I have personally seen higher marks or like higher highs for Metroid Prime 4 than I have for like Hyrule Warriors or ZA. Those like reviews that I've seen seem to be consistent, whereas Metroid Prime 4 has some like really, really high reviews.
To compare and contrast, Switch 1, and I'm gonna cut it. So like June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months, right? We'll just say that Switch 2's been out for 7 months. I'm only gonna count the first 7 months of Switch.
Okay.
1, Breath of the Wild.
Released also on the Wii U.
Released also on the Wii U. Like 5 people played it. It doesn't matter.
It's same with Metroid Prime. That's all I was mentioning that for, because Prime and ZA are also on Switch 1.
ARMS came out 3 months after launch. Splatoon 2 came out a month later. Mario Rapids a month after that, so 5 months. Then Fire Emblem Warriors, and then within that 7-month period, Super Mario Odyssey. Those are like the Nintendo made games that came out in the first 7 months. I'm just triple checking I'm not fucking missing anything. You have like your other like a lot of.
Are you missing which? I can see a debate between in this, but
Xenoblade's a little later.
Are you missing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Fun fact: Deluxe, came out April. Yeah, missing Deluxe. There we go. So that is the first 6 months, or 7 months of Switch 1, which is a very interesting conversation here, because in my brain, in my heart, it is very hard for the Switch 2, even though I think you might have overall better quality in this field,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, right?
Right.
And I think you could pick a third. And it doesn't fucking matter. I just think those two games are like so high in the fucking pantheon of Nintendo video game releases that it feels like almost impossible for anything to measure up to them.
Yeah. Yeah, to go. I mean, so like, this is why I tried to like make like a big three for Switch 2. Big three being Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong, and Metroid Prime. And like, you know, for again, there's arguments that can be made and like discussions that can be had. Maybe we'll have them. I don't know. But the big three for Switch 1 that I have for like those first like 7 months are Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And like you said, Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are like some of the best games Nintendo has ever made. And the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was relevant the entire lifespan of the Switch.
Yes.
And then
and I didn't give it enough credit. It's also like still considered probably the best Mario Kart.
I think it's
like by most people.
Yeah, and I think it's like one of the highest selling games ever. And like I guess the argument you can make there would be that it's like a deluxe version of a game that came out on the Wii U. Whatever. We got content for the Switch release only. But yeah, those 3 games are like potentially the best 3 games that the Switch even ever had. Interesting that Mario Kart is on both lists. Mario Kart World not living up to the public views that 8 Deluxe had. I still think it's a cool game. They actually just recently made they had a crazy patch. What?
You can go louder now.
I can go louder?
Yeah, no. You're probably talking about the genuine changes made in the patches.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm only talking about how they finally added a fucking sound setting to the game, and you can put the sound slider as normal or loud. So you can listen to the music normal volume or loud volume.
Thank you, Nintendo.
And now it tells you what song is playing, though, if you check the menu. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, you can't.
With incredible fucking music that you can't access.
Yeah, there's still no like jukebox kind of thing, right? But whatever. But they did, you know, part of that patch, they changed courses, which is interesting. Like, like people had complaints about like some of the like the what are the transition routes? I forget what they call them, but like the routes that go from like the street routes that go from like like this spot on the map to the other spot on the map, this course to that course. Some of those they just straight up changed,
which is probably needed. Like, I mean, it was needed.
Yeah, but that's great. I wouldn't have expected that. I wouldn't have expected them to put in a patch where like they actually just changed courses like that. So like maybe someday Mario Kart World gets, you know, the same kind of love that 8 Deluxe had, was basically my point. Yeah, you're basically saying that, you know, Switch had those generational games year one. And then I think you also touched like, but potentially, my brain's fried. Sorry. Potentially, Switch 2 has a wider, like, I guess how I was calling it, support cast.
Yep, I would think so. And like you can like, and that's like also from my brain looking at it, where I think like if I go back to Switch 1 in those games, ARMS is quality enough, but I think maybe even like Hyrule Warriors is of higher quality than ARMS.
But then you also have Fire Emblem Warriors.
Maybe you also have Fire Emblem Warriors, which is probably a little lower quality than that. But Mario Rapids,
Good game.
a game that it's a more niche game, but a really great game.
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon 2, again, still feels like Splatoon's always interesting where it's like, as a brand, more popular than the games are.
I think so.
Where like it's a good game, but it's not like, I think there's a quality to these Switch 2 releases that make up for the slightly more games that came out for Switch 1.
Yeah, and I think one of the major differences in releases that we have for like this year one between Switch and Switch 2 that is a positive, like that gives Switch 2 a leg up on Switch, which is thanks to the Switch, is the Switch's success with indies. The Switch grew into that. The Switch grew into this massive, great indie game machine. So it wasn't there year one. It was still kind of like moving into that, where like the Switch released, and then a couple months in, the indie devs were like, "Whoa, we're selling way more on here," and then stuff like really started to come out. Like I think year 2, Switch gets Hades and Hollow Knight, where year 1, Switch 2, lucky enough to get Silksong and Hades 2. But yeah, Switch 2 is gonna have at launch a ton of great indie games, where Switch didn't have that reputation yet. So I think that helps fill in Switch 2's like catalog of games to play and how they've done.
Yeah, and I do think that like it's also just a different time in Nintendo's life where like we're judging this. Like, I feel like Nintendo, lack of better words and slightly over exaggerating on when the Switch 1 was coming out, very make or break. It was very much like Nintendo had to show up or fucking die. Exaggeration. But
yeah.
They had to come out with heat. They knew they had to come out with heat. They put everything like in there, into that, like into Zelda, Mario. I mean, like you probably choose a different instead of Mario Kart for that argument, but like they had to like be like, okay, let's do it. Where with Switch 2, you have more freedom. You have more people like that are like, are going to be interested in this technology. You already know the concept of the Switch is a success. So you're able to come out with stuff that is, again, like of good quality, but doesn't have like, you're not spending the years and years and years and years on development for this one specific moment. The Switch 2 basically has the leeway to be like, all right, we're not ready to put out a new Mario.
Yeah.
So we'll just fucking work on a new Mario in the background.
Yeah, I agree with all of this. The Switch came off the heels of the Wii U. When it launched, it needed to throw heat out quick. And they had that ready. Which they had ready probably because of the failure of the Wii U. They were able to hold off on things and just be like, we're not going to release these games to try to save the Wii U. We're going to release these games to prop up our next console for a huge, big launch. And actually something that's interesting that I just thought of, there's no Mario game on Switch 2, right? There's no
traditional Mario game.
But like, yeah, any Mario game. Has there been Mario Kart. Right. We have Mario Kart. But I guess like Switch had Mario Kart, Mario Rabbids, and Mario Odyssey. A lot of Mario in year one. A lot of Mario, and what we like have considered like the new launching point for Zelda, I guess, for like the mainline Zelda series with Breath of the Wild. one point or one question I wanted to ask you to look at it this way. So Switch 2's launch, I think, is good.
I agree.
Compared to Switch 1, I think it's not up to it strictly because, like we said, Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. But I was trying to think of it this way. If the Nintendo Switch, like, if that game catalog was completely the same, if we lived in a universe where all the same games came out, but the hardware was strictly a home console, and then with now the Switch 2 coming out, actually having like the Switch capabilities, like maybe like in a different universe, it's not the Switch, it's the Dolphin. And then the Switch is like, what is the Switch 2? Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Switch is like, Switch is only a home console. Switch 2 is how we know the Switch, and it's like the first console hybrid. Do you think that changes the outlook on how the Switch 2 did in comparison? Like do you think like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, still the same games, still came out on Switch, but do you think that added thing of people being like, whoa, I can play this Donkey Kong game in handheld?
Okay, in this world, just for my brain, I want clarification. In this hypothetical, does the PC handheld wave still come out in between these two consoles?
Okay. See, that's,
I think that changes the narrative. I think that Switch being the the Switch 1's hybridness is very much the moment, like the watershed moment in this in this hybrid development. But if that doesn't exist, but Steam Deck still comes out, ROG Ally still comes out, all that comes out, and then Switch 2 being a hybrid console, I think is maybe feels lesser. I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel as impactful.
I guess in my thinking, we didn't have Steam Deck and ROG Ally and all that stuff because those were only products of the Switch release and being so well, so they wouldn't have released because we never got a Switch.
Okay. Then I think that like the hybridness of the Switch 2 and its power processing would still kind of zeitgeist blow up. I think that maybe it takes a little longer without a system seller like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, without like that Nintendo game. No offense again to any of the Switch 2's launch titles, many of which I like quite a bit, but when you don't have like the word of mouth from like the Breath of the Wild people and being like, oh my God, I can play this game on the go, I can play this game at home, and you start building up this kind of like insane fervor for the concept that is new to the world of being able to like just take my game, play it on the train on my way home if I live in a real city with real public transportation, and then go into my house and just pick up where I left off by just putting it in the dock. I think that still is a lightning in a bottle. Like just new norm, I guess. Like, it's just like a concept that is so fucking cool. And you launch that with Mario Kart World, and like that still I think is neat, but it like I think you still get a good amount of people being like, you should wait till next year, like maybe Donkey Kong, like maybe even later, just because like you can play Mario Kart World on the train by yourself, you're gonna like, oh man, sure, I wish I could be playing Mario Kart world with more people than myself on the train.
No, you look at the Nintendo commercial, and there's like 6 other people on the train also playing Mario Kart World, and then you all hang out in the back of the train together playing Mario Kart World, and then half of you miss your stop. But
I think it still happens. I think it just takes a little bit longer.
Okay. Yeah, it was just something when I was thinking of this last night. It was one of the thoughts I had was just like, I wonder how the Switch 2 launch changes if it's like not the Switch 2, if it's actually the first Switch and it's these games that released. But yeah, like I said, I think overall Switch 2 launch for year 1 catalog is good.
Yes.
I think if people are looking to get a Switch 2 for Christmas and are worried about games, I don't think you have to like worry too much. Like I think there's a wide enough variety of games if you're a Nintendo fan between Metroid and Donkey Kong for its like, and Pokemon ZA and Hyrule Warriors for these like single player experiences. And then also throw in Mario Kart for like, you know, Nintendo-esque multiplayer. Indies with Hades 2, Silksong, like we said. And then just the back catalog of Switch 1 games that just run better now. I think you are fine to get a Switch 2 for Christmas and have plenty to do with it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, all of my like negativity and my jokes, and not negativity per se, but like my like comparison to the Switch 1 is like, yeah, no, you're so right. You have all of that and more now. Even if 1-2 Switch is inherently better than Drag and Drive or Welcome Tour.
The Welcome Tour.
You know, they can't all be heaters. But there is a little bit of something for everyone. It feels like on the Switch, even if it's not the crowd pleasing Super Nintendo banger. But even your old content, like you have your Kirby with extra content, you have your Kirby with extra content.
Yep.
That's it. I'm trying to think. Like, you have Animal Crossing content in a month.
Yep.
Like there's stuff coming out that's like, oh hell yeah! Like I have this, and it's newer and better on the Switch 2. Am I in the thought process that it is absolutely necessary to upgrade? I don't know yet. I don't think so. That's like where I'm like more hesitant on. Like if you have a Switch 1 and like you're on the fence about spending the money for a Switch 2, there are really, really great games for the Switch 2. But unless one of them sings to you like specifically, you probably can still still wait a little longer until you're waiting for that Mario game, I guess, is what I'll say.
I would also speculate that like if it's a parent buying a Switch 2 for their kids and it's like that just like type of family, they're not going to be thinking about this at all. But I would speculate that there are people who, instead of getting a Switch 2 right now, because they can wait, or they feel like they can wait because there isn't that like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey on the system yet, could also just be waiting to see what the Steam machine price is.
Yep, that's also very possible.
Instead of getting a Switch 2. It's not a Steam Deck, so like it doesn't like 1-to-1 fit like the hybrid console thing, but I still think that's, I mean, it's the next gaming system that's coming out.
Yeah. Well, I would argue, I guess, like my argument against that is that I still think a Steam machine conceptually is relatively niche of like its existence is still not as like known to a lot of like normie parents than like the Nintendo, like the thing they just call all consoles.
Yeah.
So like I do think that, you know, there are going to be people who are making that calculation in their head. I just don't. I think there's many more people who are just going to go to a Best Buy, a GameStop, or Amazon and just put in new Nintendo.
And for looking ahead for Switch 2, those people can see Yoshi coming out, which they're gonna know. What else is coming out? Duskbloods at some point. What'd you say?
Tennis.
Mario Tennis. So, you know, there's some games. Nintendo.
Pokopia.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm excited for Pokopia. I want to play Pokopia.
I want to look at Pokopia.
No, I want to be that Ditto. I'll make that Ditto become an abomination. It already is an abomination, but just like I want it to live its full abomination life.
I do appreciate that game for like them recognizing that like we made a little freak. Let's freaky with that little freak.
Yeah, let's just lean into how freaky this is for sure. And also people are like, this is also wild and silly to me, but people have like speculations that this game takes place in a post-apocalyptic Kanto.
That's so fucking cool. If it's true.
And it just made me think about like an apocalypse in Pokemon.
Arceus said, I'm tired of your shit.
Yeah. But then also, because I was just like, that's a crazy thing. But then also, aren't there like apocalyptic things in Black and White or Black and White 2? One of them have like crazy statues of like old wars and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like in Black and White, part of the actual evil guy that's not N is like to bring about the end of the world. And I think I think one of the other ones wants to also bring about the end of the world. But I remember in X and Y, because that's when you meet AZ, they actually talk about how like the old war, and you see a little bit of like a flashback of like, because AZ's immortal or something. Who fucking knows? I should play ZA and maybe figure out what's going on. Like, yeah, he was part of this great war that accompanied the entire fucking nation or something. So they have hints where they're like willing to get a little darker. So maybe Pokopia is there.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess what I was trying to say with these like upcoming games is that like it it looks like the Switch 2 potentially has some legs to it, right? Okay, what else has legs?
Horses have legs.
Horses have legs. That's my transition.
Hell yeah.
You have played Horses, the game that was banned on Steam. And then on Epic.
Yep. And then on Humble, but then not on Humble. So I, buying into the controversy, I guess, it's interesting. A game like Horses, it comes out and it's a independent game with only so much reach. Made by the developers of Saturnalia, which is a well-received game that I have not played, but I know a couple people who have owned it, and they say it's really good. This is an Italian studio called like Singron. I don't know how to pronounce it. I probably shouldn't try. Known for making like these like kind of thematically deep, almost art house movie games. Horses, as its release, actually, I guess we'll start here. Horses was banned on Steam for an earlier build of the game that they submitted for like Steam's review process. And in it, as you can see with all these pictures going around, there's a lot of these naked people with horse masks on while they're naked. They're all pixelated. Even in the release of the game, they're still pixelated. And there is one part of the game where you're helping out at this farm like for 2 weeks. And then while you're helping out this farm with all these human horses with horse masks on, or human people with horse masks on, this lady, if you go back, actually, there's like a lady in like a regular dress in the pictures, comes to the farm and she's like, I want to buy one of your horses. And then they have you go and to take a horse out, and then she goes and rides on their shoulders. In the original version of the game, Steam, they put to Steam, this lady was very clearly a younger person riding around on the shoulders of a naked person with a horse mask. Again, pixelated and everything. Steam was like, no. Developers of horses went, hey, okay, totally fair. Aged this lady up to be clearly an adult. But Steam has a review process where they're like, if we say no once, we just will not review again. It's gone. We won't. That's just part of their company policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a shame. Should that scene have been in there in the first place? I don't know. You're trying to say something about something is inherently sexual or gross. I don't know. I can see the argument from both sides of being like, no, it's like metaphorically saying something about like dehumanization and stuff like that, and like how like, but like I can also see the argument of being like, it's clearly that person's clearly naked, and she's riding on him, so that's a metaphor for like other things.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Not in the regular fucking release of the video game. So that happens. It gets banned from Steam. This developer goes like, fuck. Like, we're an indie developer and we're banned by Steam.
Yep.
They're 90% of like the digital marketplace on PCs. That you have Epic, Humble Bundle, GOG, itch.io, and then we're getting even farther down into like more like less and less market share. This game is marketed as releasable on Epic. News stories coming out about it being banned on Steam. Epic then goes, we're banning it. Like, we're going to ban it. No comment why. Which is weird because I know there are game publications that got review codes for the Epic version of this game. So again, This is last minute banned on Epic. Humble Bundle, or Humble Games, bans it. Humble takes a look at the fucking game, goes, you know what? Actually, never mind. It's fine. It's available.
Sure.
And then that is like, and GOG is out there trying to be the people's champions with everything and being like, yeah, it's fine. It's on here. We don't give a fuck. It's very interesting because even if that scene was unchanged, in my mind, there is 1,000 worse games on Steam. Like there are fucking so many like questionable like anime Lolita looking games that come out on Steam that get a pass because they're more animated and less 3D modeled, I guess.
Maybe.
And this game that is just an art house movie. It was $5, I think, on GOG, $5 or $6. It was like 2.5 hours tops. Like it was like I was watching a movie, interactive movie, making just like small decisions kind of thing. It is, for all intents and purposes, not that different than watching like a Yorgos directed movie. Like very European, very like dealing with like sex dehumanization. Arguably, there are worse things than Poor Things. I love Poor Things. That movie's incredible.
Got that movie poster hanging in my house.
But like you can very easily read in the fact that Emma Stone's character in that movie is like a day old or whatever. Mentally, like, and that's very like you can immediately start questioning that. Like, this game isn't so inherently different. Which is like, why do we judge movies and games differently? Why is something like Poor Things able to be shown at hundreds of theaters, thousands of theaters across the globe, but this video game in this like medium that is still, I guess, trying to be taken seriously, that is doing something maybe equivalent to something like Poor Things or any like Dogtooth, any other. Yorgos is where my brain's at, so it's all I'm thinking about. But even like Lars von Trier, I guess like another director that's very art house. Why is it so different that we judge it? Because it feels unfair. It feels like people are viewing still to this day video games as a lesser medium, as a children's medium, which I feel like it shouldn't be.
Yeah, the only like argument I can have, not the only point I can make, I guess, for people's perspective on it is just like when you watch it in a movie, you're just watching it. It's just a horrific thing that you're watching happen. Whereas in a video game, it's scripted just like a movie, but you're actively moving it forward. And that's the only thing I can do. I can think of. It's just like the perspective is that like, oh, I'm forcing this girl to ride on this horse shoulders, this naked horseman's shoulders. And it's not just, you're not just viewing this weird think piece. You're like doing lewd acts or something. I don't know.
You're like actively participate. You feel like you're actively participating.
Yeah. Yes.
In it.
That's all I can think of.
Which is and that's such a fucking shame, because I feel like that only makes messages like this game, which I haven't really gotten into, like the actual like anything about the game, like it makes it all more powerful. It makes it more meaningful that you are borderline locked in to these choices, that you are like, you are the one being forced to do it because of like this older farmer guy's having you do make all these decisions. It helps play into how like people, following orders, and why like the big part of this game is like these people aren't humans. They were dredges to societies, and now they're nothing more than horses. So like it plays into like, oh, now you're starting to see these people as less than people. And making you have to interact and be like and do these decisions, I think just adds to the like, oh, like this started out as like weird, but like I'm doing it because I'm getting paid, and I'm my parent, like I'm being forced to like be here because I'm not allowed to stay like at my parents' house now that I'm graduate from college or whatever. Like this is a summer job. Like whatever it is exactly. Like I'm now started as uncomfortable because I'm like, all right, this is weird. And then it becoming more of a thing where you just like are starting to be forced to accept this like concept. And because he's like, hey, hold them down while I do this, you're like there's one part where getting into the actual game. This game is like, it definitely pushes lines with like thematic, and it's dark. I'm definitely desensitized because of the amount of like movies I watch that are rated R and are art house films that deal with like tough topics. There are moments where the farmer like makes you hold down a horse while he castrates them. Like, and that obviously is uncomfortable. Like it doesn't make you, a human being playing the game, feel good to be the one holding them down while this act is happening. Which just makes it more powerful. It makes it make more sense because you are the one being like, I don't like this. Why would we ever fucking do this? Instead of watching it happen and feeling almost more detached from the situation. Which is, I think, why this game like does have value. It's inherently good at making you go, why the fuck would we do this? Like, how could we get to this point, and showing you how some people could get to this point, but also showing like there's Like, you don't have to give in to these orders, this worldview that's happening. Very neat. I really, really enjoyed my time. Not for everyone. It is fucked up. There is like sex is happening on the screen, but it's very clearly pixelated. You can't see anything. There's been sex in video games that is actually like tries to be like, I don't know, hot or whatever, and this is not that. This isn't like Mass Effect.
It's not pornographic. It's
not. Yeah. It's not pornographic. It's just
it's uncomfortable.
It has
maybe,
meaning.
Yeah,
uncomfortable. And it's never like, oh, there's just like sex to be sexy. It's like there's sex is happening to tell you something about this world, I guess.
And it's $5, 2.5 hours.
$5. Yeah.
I think
cheaper
in here
going to the movie theater.
Yeah, I think this is 3 or 4 hours. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if this was a movie, it was even cheaper, then you would have watched this in a theater or a streaming service or whatever. Why is this one blowing up? Why did this banned game blow up? I imagine there are plenty of games that get banned by Steam. But like, why was this one? Was it just luck?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. My guess is that it's a follow-up to a game that is maybe cult classic-ish. Like, it's a game that has a following. Saturnalia is a well-received, not popular in the sense, but like it's another like, so it's a well-received game. It exists. And that's part one. Part B is it being banned, and I think that the developers like had made a statement, and they're like, "Hey, our follow-up game to this game that you like, that like got like buzz, it's not gonna be able to come out on Steam. You have a media outlet, pick it up, because somebody at that media outlet cares, and you have more media outlets reviewing that because they're like, wait, this game got banned." And it got banned for like this reason. I think a big part in my at least what I think is that it's banned and it doesn't feel banned for inherently justified reasons. Yeah. I guess where like I can see and this happens occasionally. Games, there's that No Mercy game that does push lines that got banned from Steam, and that got some media buzz about it. But like that game is meant to be. Like you can easily see that it's meant to like this is like a pornographic experience, I guess. But I think it really is like people like looking at the system and looking how it exists and being like, wait a minute, this doesn't deserve to be banned, so let's talk about it. Which I think is maybe an inherently good thing in games media is doing for once, to be like, we always talk about like, I mean, many people on the internet always talk about like there's not a lot of journalism in games journalism. And to some extent I get what they're saying, but stuff like this is highlighting an investigation, and talking about something like this is a very important like act to legitimize both video games as a medium with artistic value, and also like games journalism as a outlet to discuss the same medium instead of just being like review and whatever the heck that people don't like about games journalism.
The next question I had to go along with that is, do you think getting banned on so many services helped the sales for this game?
I think my initial thought would have been yes. My initial thought would have been like, oh, hey, like this is more word of mouth than this game was ever going to get. the studio did say something about it being like, and again, this is the game only been out for like a week and a half. But they're like, being banned on Steam probably means that we're not going to be able to make enough money to make another game after this. Like, this is it. Don't know. So I don't like, maybe the word of mouth, maybe people on the internet talking about it gets enough buzz. Maybe me telling people to buy this $5 interactive movie makes one other person buy it, and maybe eventually this game becomes profitable enough for them to like actually not give up on this game studio dream. Again, I looked it up. The Italian company is like Santa Regina.
Yeah, I looked them up as well. And they had a couple. So that was part of like my I don't know, my point of talking or asking if you think the band got them more sales, because when I looked them up, there were a couple games on there that I don't know much about, but I recognize them, which means like people know this company and the games they make and they like them. It's not just some new random indie dev who's never had any success. They've had some success. So, you know, getting banned was a lot of publicity. But it wasn't the only publicity they had ever gotten, because they'd made games that people knew before this. So I was thinking part of those sales were probably just gone, because there are people that knew about it that were like, because some people are just like, I'm not buying a game on another service. Yeah. Like, we know that about like our friend Alex. I know for a long time, I assume it's still the same, I don't know, but for a long time, I think there was like free games on Epic or something that we had talked about. And Alex was just like, I'm not downloading another storefront. And he's like, but it's free to download and you get these free games with it. And he's like, nope.
Yeah.
And some people are just like that. Some people, and then some people are just like, are just too caught up in Steam. They don't care to even know that there are other web fronts to get games from. So like, yeah, that probably lost them some sales. The ban, I'm sure, got them more. But like, I don't know. What did they also lose by just like not being able to be found at all on Steam?
Yeah. It's like that, and that's something that like I will kind of figure it out like in the next month or so, right? Like, it's just like, if this, like, I hope that it does, because it's such a shame that this company that has like, I'm looking at their stuff, like Endless Runner, exploration game set in space, like adventure visual novel, like with a cute art style, and then Saturnalia is a survival horror game. It's like, these are games that come out, and I can't speak to the content in them, but it's like, they made the games, they did well enough to keep moving the extra game. I mean, the next game, and then they like try to say something, and they're just punished for it. And that is such a disheartening like thing. For me as a person who just wants people to make art that they like think has like value, right? Like, I want people to be making art, saying what they want to say about the world, pushing these boundaries a little bit, and still be able to continue to make money. And then this happening and being like, well, you know, it's going to be an uphill battle to try to make anything else. And this is a shame. It just sucks.
Yeah. Yep. Even if for whatever reason, like you said Steam, like, they just don't go back on it, right? At this point, even if they did like reverse the ruling, if they're a company that can't be saved, I don't know if it saves them, you know? So damn. I don't know. It needs more word of mouth, I guess, for for GOG.
Yeah. And GOG is great. If anyone needs me to grandstand about GOG at any good old games,
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of their thing. They do this. I think they have like initiatives and votings where they just like save games.
Mm-hmm.
Typically older games, but yeah.
Yeah, they're like, this isn't playable like in modern standard or like on modern PCs. Like, we're gonna figure a way to bring it back and like work with people to get it working on your PC.
Yeah.
It's super neat. And like the fact that they like I don't know if they had discussions in the back room about whether or not this game should have been banned, but they were like, no. They're like, at the end of the day, they stood by it. They're like, no, let's release the game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And now seemingly they are leaving the gaming space.
Mm-hmm. Just like Harada
is leaving
Bandai Namco.
Yeah. Because that's what happened. The Tekken guy left Bandai Namco. He's not seemingly leaving the gaming space. We don't know yet. Part of his statement was basically like, stay tuned to hear what I will be doing next. So it didn't sound like a retirement. He's just not going to be with Bandai Namco anymore, so he won't be working on Tekken anymore, which is been his game. If we can compare it to anything, it would be like Sakurai leaving and no longer making Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Miyamoto not like leaving Nintendo. Like, it's just like he's so inherently synonymous with the Tekken brand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he's leaving. Tekken will continue. I believe Tekken 8 still has some like official events and tournaments happening that Bandai Namco themselves is like hosting, and they have invited Harada to like keep coming out to them. It's like, you can see it right here. Tekken 8 has caused a great deal of friction between players and the development team, and Harada has stepped in multiple times on social media to address fan concern. This is a brand new story. Happened this morning. With some of the other things Harada has said, my guess is that he just wants to be able to do things that Bandai Namco told him no. He says something along the lines of, he's basically like, I'm getting older now. And I've seen game developers that I like love have gone away. I have people who have died in my life, basically, and he's basically like, it has put into perspective that like, I have a limited time to do what I want to do. So I'm stepping away from Bandai Namco, and stay tuned to what's next. And I, as somebody who like, I like Tekken, I haven't played Tekken in forever. But as somebody who just likes games and seeing people make games, I think this is very cool and interesting that he's able to break away from Tekken and just be like, hopefully, I'm making something that I really want to do and was never able to. I was gonna say it's not quite the same, but Sakurai was basically like, I think it was for Ultimate, actually. He agreed. He was like, yeah, I'll make Ultimate, but afterwards you have to let me do Kirby Air Riders. And Nintendo was like, fine. And it like, I can only imagine like in an equivalent situation, Harada was like, yeah, I'll do Tekken 8, but after, can I do this? And they were like, no.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So Tekken 8, I have played a decent amount of. I tried to get good at it, and then I just, like, what happens with every fighting game is that like I just want to play other things that have stories and endings. So I just stopped going back to it. I think that Harada had hands on Tekken 8, but I think he started, like, from what I understand, is that like he also was like starting to take a step back throughout the development. For the first time, he was just kind of being like, all right, let's, like, it's a very like Japanese thing to try to train up the younger people on the staff, and let them like start to really take the reins in order to, you know, that's just like part of their company corporate philosophy. And Tekken 8 has a little bit of a rocky history existing, between a lot of like these balance patches that completely change like the momentum of the game, both like from the community and also the physical playing of the game. But him stepping away is like end of an era, of course. You know, pour one out for Harada, this creator that worked with Bandai Namco and did help make, you know, Tekken, Soul Calibur, Pokken Tournament, and just a fighting game guy. Look kind of at his life, his relationship with his work and stuff like that, and just step away. It's like, one, jealous of being able to just be like, all right, you know what? I'm gone. I'm done. I can do what I want. I have enough money to just go not be doing what I'm doing anymore. But also, like, I just really hope that he, like, whatever is next for him, he's able to do it like more on his own terms.
Yeah.
He definitely, like, in his closing like exit statement, he talked a lot about like how much he just loved like the small roots local tournaments in arcades, like getting like talking to like the players in those events, like that part of his life was like what he considered, he like, you know, very nostalgic for that part of his life. And of course eventually you start becoming the big guy, the guy who's synonymous with Tekken, the number 3 fighting game probably in the
maybe
FGC, right?
Behind what? Street Fighter?
So my argument is that sales wise, Mortal Kombat always sweeps, but community wise, Tekken is probably number 2. Right?
Yeah,
I think it's probably so. Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, maybe more things are more played than Mortal Kombat is nowadays. But sales wise, Mortal Kombat always sells fucking insane amount of money.
Yeah.
So like he helped create this monolith in. You can't tell the history of video games, I think, without talking about Tekken. The 3D like kind of fighting thing that it really. I don't think it technically created it, but it did make it popular.
Popularized it for sure.
And to the point where, like, again, we look at Smash Ultimate as a collection, almost a museum of video game history. We have Kazuma. We have a Tekken character in it.
Kazuya,
yeah.
Yeah.
And like this is a very important like developer, and he's like I'm gone. He's like which again, I hope that he's able to, like, I don't know, like, I want in my rose colored glasses, I hope Harada,
your golden rose colored glasses,
my golden rose colored glasses, he's like, all right, fuck Bandai Namco, takes a year or 2 off to go do whatever he wants to do to try to like live life and be happy, and then comes back with a small studio and just makes a fucking banger of a indie AA. He Kojima's it up with like Harada Studios.
I was gonna say, I can't wait to see him collab with Kojima. They create the Metal Gear fighting game.
That being said, do you know what would be the absolute most banger thing?
What?
Harada, he announces he's leaving on Thursday. He goes, "Hey, I'm no longer involved with Tekken, but I got one final thing for you. Tekken highlight reel coming out. Tifa's finally fucking in Tekken, like all these fucking people have been asking, and Waffle House is in Tekken. Bang, bang." He goes, "I'm the greatest. Fuck you guys. I'm gone."
Peace out. Mic drop. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Is he at the Game Awards?
That's a great question. I feel like Jeff hasn't been yapping about.
He started posting some guests today. I know Miss Piggy.
Yeah,
that's the big one. We both picked out Miss Piggy's gonna be there. Yeah. So yeah. He could very well be there. Maybe because he said, like, what did he say specifically? He said in his statement, "I'll share more about my next steps at a later date." It might be a later date on Thursday.
Could be.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a second to answer Jay Gamer in here.
I was gonna, in my head, I was just like, there's no way you can explain that via text, I think. No.
So Jay is asking, how do you wave land in Super Smash Bros. Melee? Wave landing is just a wave dash that you do from like a jump, basically. You are doing the rest of, like, you're jumping, which is part of wave dashing, right? But then as you land, you do the rest of your wave dash like inputs. So like you'll jump, and then when you get close to the ground or like a platform, for instance, you hold your joystick at the angle and do an air dodge into it. So like a lot of people will do it coming up from underneath a platform to land on the platform quicker. So like rather than jumping through a platform and then landing on it, you full jump through the platform, and basically like right as your feet pass through the platform, you diagonally air dodge into it. And then you'll, depending on how much of an angle you do, will depend on like how far like you wave dash across it. Sometimes you might want to wave land across it a lot. Sometimes you maybe not, but yeah, jump. Well, it's like, yeah, because like
jump, wave dash while landing.
Wave dash is jumping and then after 2 frames, air dodging at an angle into the ground. Wave land is full hopping, and then when you pass through the platform, air dodging into the ground. So you don't want to jump and then do your full wave dash, which would be jumping again and then air dodging into the ground. You just full hop and then air dodge. Yeah. And that's how you land on platforms faster. In Melee.
In between topics, well, we're just talking about Melee, is that so Nouns Invitational was on, and I stayed up way too. I had to work like 3 hours after the pools ended. I was just like, I don't want to go to bed. I want to see Hungry Buck. And so I stayed up way too late, and watching I do think that there's like, so I don't know how I'm trying to get here. Watching Magi watch and commentate over Nouns Invitational was super fascinating to me. Just because she's so I don't think she knows how to like dumb down certain things, or maybe she just doesn't want to. Whereas like I think a lot of people are like, oh, the commentators a lot of times on a normal stream don't necessarily get into the nitty-gritty of what's happening on the screen. There's a lot more macro explanation of what they're doing. But Magi will constantly be like, oh my god, like Zane L canceled there, and like what I and it caused this and this and this, and she's just using fucking terms. She's like, oh man, like the sick wave flash, sick L cancel like landing. And then she's like talking about like the thing Hungrybox does more than other puffs is that he's always wave dashing you on the ground crouch and then crouch canceling to like approach. And she's like, I don't think it really does anything, but it's intimidating to see Puff fucking like do that on the screen, and like you don't know, you start panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like her very in-depth like explanation, even like for me who like I know that these terms exist and I know what some of them do. But it was just it was a refreshing experience to hear that nitty-gritty when I'm most of the time I'm just hearing like more of like the like a macro, like why is Puff doing what they're doing, or and where Magi is like, yeah, did you know like if Puff's doing aerials, Puff gets better frame data in the air, like he reduced like air drift, or no, increase like better drift or something like that. I can't remember because it's been multiple days and I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah,
but it was neat to have that more like in-depth explanation.
Yeah, I think because Magi, I think she's like very technical and she knows so much about the game. But like but the way she talks about it is a nerd who's talking to other nerds. Which I like it. I don't know. I think that's what makes it interesting because we're nerds, but we don't have, so like we have that like partial grasp of what she's talking about. So like we can understand what she's saying, but it's not like it's like we're still learning it. I don't know. It's the same thing, not quite the same, but like, you know, she's a little better at speaking than like Mewtwo King is. But Mewtwo King, when he does analysis, because for a while I haven't seen it in a bit, but he'll watch a tournament, Ultimate or Melee, and then after the tournament ends, he'll like analyze certain sets, like he'll like reanalyze the finals or just like really nice sets, and he'll go like frame by frame with things, and he'll like go over like he'll pause the screen at a scenario, and he'll basically like completely like I don't know the word I'm looking for, digest every possible outcome, dissect every outcome. He'll be like, okay, in this situation, Zane holds left here, and this is what happened. If he holds right after getting it here, he doesn't he misses this or that. If he holds up, this is what happens. And then like, because this person like wave lands here, Zane can't reach with the forward air, which allows the Sheik to shield drop through the platform, hit him with a nair, get the whatever. Oh, Jay, those don't work right now.
Yeah, I was in the process of refunding.
Those will work. Those will work on a different stream, but not like the Park Bench podcast. They work on like the normal streams. But those those do currently work, just not on this scene. Great.
You have normal stream calling you out.
Yeah, so I would love to. I've made things for normal streams. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Hard is left. We're moving on to the next thing.
5. Yeah, topic 5.
Indie games that have come out today.
Yeah, we talked earlier. Again, I brought this up in the beginning of the show about how like December not having a lot of games. And it just so happens that every game I feel like I'm fucking interested in has come out today. Slash yesterday.
Lucky
one of these games
you.
came out. The liar.
How lucky.
So I just want to do a quick hit on these. I want to talk about them. Each of them feed into a different niche of video games that I love.
I'm gonna eat quickly while I talk about this. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. So the first game I want to talk about is Unbeatable. That came out today. If you've been watching the show, if you have watched it in the past, I am on the front lines of the Unbeatable crusade to take over the world. I think this game is one of the most aesthetically pleasing and coolest like rhythm games that have come out. It's like it's very like, it seems like it has a story that wants to tell. Like the demo that we played is very much of like setting the scene for this rebellion against this anti-music culture that has control of the world. It has a very anime aesthetic in a very like 90s. I don't know. It's a very anime aesthetic, but it's not like stereotypical anime aesthetic. With some of the designs, I think. But the meat and potatoes of the game, the actual rhythm-based combat, is really gosh darn fun. It's being able to go through and hear these songs and play them and play this very like difficult rhythm-based game. I don't know. But it feels really rewarding, and the music rules, and it's a lot of this like kind of Japanese garage rock inspired, like punk adjacent music that I'm super excited to play. I bought it. I have it downloaded. The moment we get off the show, I'm gonna play it.
The thing
so that's game number 1.
The thing that's always got me with this game is the aesthetic that it has. The art style and the aesthetic. Again, talked about it multiple times. You are the number one supporter of championing this game on the internet. The aesthetic's just cool as hell. The game just looks neat. I like, there have been, I feel like there are other games that have an art style that they wish looked as good as this. Like they're trying to do this, but there's just something going on with whatever filters and colors they're using with this hand-drawn style that like, I think just sticks out above everything else that tries to do this. So like, I think that's like, in my view, without like that's my first reaction when I see this, is just like, oh, this game looks sick visually.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I wish so fucking much this game came out in the early AM so I could have gotten my hands on it before. Yeah, but no, losing battle.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm excited to play this. So that's the big one for me. And then we have other ones that I wish I had money and time to play also immediately.
Oops. Cover to your camera.
What?
Welcome back.
You got rid of me? What the hell?
Hit the wrong thing.
Just like you're getting rid of your wife. What the hell?
Not getting rid of my wife. Stop it.
And then my second game, let's talk about Death Howl real quick. Another game with a really arresting visual style. Like it just completely like just by looking at it, I get like I go, oh yeah. I love it. Which is a deck building Souls like, it says. I'm very curious to see where the Souls like comes into play outside of being just like difficult. But it has these like heavily pixelated, very like low bit like a low bit animation style where like you can very clearly see the bits and the polygons. No polygons, but it just like there are parts of it that remind me of like Into the Breach while also being a card game. And with combination with this art style and this like kind of seemingly dark setting, I can't look at this and go like, no. I just look at this and go, okay, when am I going to have the time to play this? Because it looks so gosh darn cool.
I downloaded the demo for this a couple Steam Next Fests ago and never got around to playing it. It was I believe it was available. I did a stream once where I played a couple different indie games. I played The King is Watching and Mindwave. And I had also downloaded this game. But I just didn't have the time to get to it. But yeah, the art style is super cool. I love how dark it is. Everything is dark in it. In a cool dark fantasy setting. I'm with you. I'm interested to see what they mean by a Dark Souls, like when they compare it to Dark Souls, other than it just being hard. Is there some sort of bonfire? Like I can't picture the mechanic that is Souls-like, but even without that comparison, like you didn't have to say that to sell this game, I don't think.
Yeah, like it's just like it again. Like part of me is like, be more confident in your art and your gameplay loop that you don't need to bring up Dark Souls. Also, just I saw one of these reviews, just A24. Don't know. Again, another meaningless thing to just say about anything nowadays. Plus Slay the Spire, plus Into the Breach. But
yeah, at least hey, Into the Breach. I'm glad people are picking up on that and like know what Into the Breach is.
Man, I can't wait. But again, I got to beat Unbeatable first, which is apparently unbeatable.
It's unbeatable. You can't.
And then play Death Howl, and then more up on these games that came out all today. Skate Story. A game that I witnessed for the first time right next to you.
Yep.
At I think PAX 2020 or maybe 2019. Another visually like just unique game. I played the demo for Steam Next Fest. I talked about it on this show. It's has so much style. It's like it feels like there's this like really incredible music happening with these like very sharp visuals where they're like there's like jagged edges that just exist to kind of add to this weird like visual. I don't know. Like it just it's so unique in how it looks. And it has these really interesting boss fights where you do tricks to deal damage to the boss. So it's like kind of it's like a tiny like a when you do your heats in Tony Hawk like way back in the day. And it's like really just like score a bunch of points in a certain time limit, but it just being thematically as a boss fight and there's this guy yapping at you and saying things and like looming over you while you do tricks just adds a special something. And again, single developer this time, working a very long time on something like this.
Very long time. Yeah, we like if you're saying we saw this at what, like a PAX? Like it would have been like 5 years ago. I also think I think this game was at a Game Awards. If it wasn't a Game Awards, it was a Summer Game Fest.
That sounds right.
It's been in development for a long time.
Mechanically, also for the skate people, it plays more like it plays like a cross between Skate and Tony Hawk, where you are using like the face buttons, like to like hold X to ollie.
Not strictly just sticks.
Yeah, you're not using the sticks for these, but you are occasionally. You are like, you do end up using the sticks for complex patterns every once in a while, which I do think is interesting in this like weird hybrid of the two major skateboarding games.
The like point of view that the game is set in is very much Skate. Third person over the shoulder. It's like, but it's also like it's low.
Yeah,
it's very low, like Skate is.
And that does change. Like certain levels will have like the perspective will be switching from more like directly behind to more low left and stuff like that. Which again just goes back to the thought process between like making this game feel cinematic and unique and like because like you could easily just like standardize singular camera angle, but like them thinking about the camera angles in that way just like also means like, oh man, you just really care about making this game look cool and unique. Hell yeah. That's game 3 of this fucking onslaught of indie games
that's coming out today.
Next game, Angeline Era, is another game I played forever ago on a Steam's Next Fest. We're in this era this wonderful, wonderful era of this nostalgia for
PlayStation
PS1,
1. Yeah.
That era aesthetics. And the demo for this was, I remember being good, and then the developer kept talking about all the changes they were making and all the stuff they were working on, and it just keeps looking better and better. It's very much like a Zelda clone. You have an overworld, but there's like in the overworld you have these buttons, like you can choose to examine like areas that don't necessarily look like they have like, you know, like transitional maps, like to act to be like the regular gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go and like they show them go into the corner. You're just going in between those trees. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go there. You can, but if you walk over there and you use your like discover button, you find a level that you might have not found before, and that could have Zelda like rewards. Like you can find upgrades, different weapons and stuff like that. That's really cool. Just like the player freedom to explore and discover things on your own without it being telegraphed to you is a very like difficult thing to juggle in a video game. But again, it not only did it was like it like, hey, this game's coming out and this game, like you had fun playing it. Now that people have getting their hands on it, it seems to be mostly positive. It says on Steam.
Yep, 51.
It just seems to be like I'm like it's surprising me about how much better it's doing than I thought it was originally going to do.
And it does say like right in its description, every level is hidden in plain sight in this non-linear 3D action adventure game. So it like, yeah, that seems like a vital part of their design that you were just talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you decide what you discover next in the world of Fae. Yeah, this looks very much like a Dinnermancer game also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the PS1, it's not even just an aesthetic. It's just like the game play looks like this could have been a PS1 game.
And like I love it's just a neat like concept that like we're in this era where like people are making games that like you could have told me if like if I knew nothing, you could show me these screenshots and be, oh, it must be a forgotten gem.
Oh my god, I just loved this game when I was in middle school.
Yeah. And I would be like, oh, cool. I didn't ever heard about it. Let me check it out. Let me go find it. How much does it cost for a physical copy? $200 is a cry. And people just out there making cool shit.
I love this. It says it's is this game relevant to you? Similar games you've played. RV there yet? I don't think it is. I don't think it is similar to RV there yet.
I can't tell if this developer is the developer or the publisher.
Publisher is there's more. Hold on. Oh, they're the same. Publisher and developer are listed the same. There's some games that these people have published that I recognize. Anodyne is one right there. Anodyne 2. That's it. Those are the ones I recognize. I recognize that name.
So cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
And then lastly, but definitely not least, another game we've talked about on the show, which just makes this December episode feel like all the better, is that like a lot of these are like the payoffs for these games that we talked about in Steam Next Fest. Man, Rhythm Doctor. You ever play Rhythm Heaven and go, damn, I certainly wish Nintendo made more of these. Here you go. Here's your independently made Rhythm Heaven with like a crazy editing concept. We'll get into that in a little bit, but it starts off, there is a story, there is a campaign, there is like a narrative that you go through that apparently fucking rules. This game already technically came out on the 6th, but you know, I wanted to put it in here. Came out on the 6th, already has 6,000 plus reviews, overwhelmingly positive. This game is hitting it off. It is cool. If you have it with sound on, it is fucking bumping.
Let's do it a little bit. Let's do it a little bit. Let's do it a little bit in the trailer. A little bit. This trailer is also going to be all over the place and wild, but like, yeah. That was a little bit. December 6th. Yeah, that's not today. You lied to me.
Yeah, I know. A couple days. That being said, that the cool thing about the trailer, all created in game, all edited in game. All the crazy shit about this fucking video game is that you can, you go further into the screenshots, you can see that you can use any in-game asset, you can throw them all together, you can use any of the beats in the game, any of the sound effects in the game, you can make your own tracks, you can make your own levels, you can make your own visual fucking insanity. That's crazy just to begin with. Like that's so much dev work to make a Rhythm Heaven maker, basically.
Is this isn't, it's not on Game Pass, right? Because this was shown during an Xbox event. What's it called? I don't know how to spell Rhythm.
Rhythm Doctor.
I spelled it so wrong.
What's up, Martin?
Rhythm. I can't spell it. Rhythm Doctor. I still spelled it wrong.
RHYTHM.
Okay, why do I have another E in there? Not in here. Rhythm Doctor.
Rhythm Doctor.
Shut up. Not on here. But that's where I remember seeing it, is an Xbox like showcase. This weird like Rhythm Heaven-esque game. It's the same reason. This is the same reason why I played that game Mindwave, because I was like, man, why doesn't I wish Nintendo? I mean, they do a little bit, but make more WarioWare games. And this is just, why doesn't Nintendo make more Rhythm Heaven games, which they are also. But while you wait,
here's this. Here, check this out. And like, honestly, again, this is what I love about the indie game series scene, and we talk about this plenty of times, is like, hey, this concept we fucking love, we haven't been doing it. No one's been doing it for the last 10 years. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to Thanos. Me.
And this, like, I'm sure Rhythm Heaven, when Nintendo releases it, will be great. But this will have, hopefully, potentially, that extra like staying power with the crazy editor thing that it has. Because this just, it's the same thing. It's, you know, to compare it to like Mario Maker, there's just like, there could always be new content. There's always something new to do or see or whatever. So
it just looks so cool. And I wish I actually, before the show started, we're in the pre-show, I put all of the games in my Steam cart, and I'm like, how much money would this cost me? I was like, how much fucking money would I be throwing into the fucking void to be able to buy all these indie games? And like, you know what? It's less than some deluxe releases for video games. But it's still pretty pricey.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it. So I bought Just Unbeatable for now. And then lastly, didn't put it in the docket. The free update for King is Watching, the whole new map dropped today too. So why the fuck are all these games targeting me? Right.
Do we have that? I was hoping. This game's cool though. I played this game too. It's hard.
Man, I love the King is Watching. I've gotten up to 7 heat, like, and there's out of 10 difficulties. So I've gotten 7 out of 10 on both maps that are available now. Now I got to try to get there on this new one and figure out what's going on.
The thing that I didn't get to experience by just playing the demo is like I don't know if I'm saying like the out of game like meta progression stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I only got like the standard like gameplay. Like this part.
It opens up different builds like that are a lot of fun. Like without the meta progression, I don't think you can do a pure spell casting build where you like barely build units and you're just always casting slinging spells. But with a lot of the meta progression upgrades and the different like counselors you can use to like give you certain buffs and whatnot and allow you to like double cast things and get more spell slots, like you can start to really just fucking not worry about having a standing army.
Oh, is this right here, the volcano update, right?
Yeah.
That's a new one, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week because we were talking about volcanoes in video games. And I said I like the volcano in Peak.
Mm-hmm. And I said maybe I'll like the volcano in this game when it comes out.
Maybe.
Also, just like a cool thing, Sickness is a free update. Just like you could have easily paid and charged me like
$5, whatever.
Yeah. But with their success, they were like they wanted to pay it back to the community a bit. So like, here's the third map. And I don't know what else is new. I don't know, like, if I'm assuming we have new buildings, maybe new events,
new events, I was gonna say tiles, new cards, I guess technically. Yeah. Overwhelmingly positive as of recent, very positive overall. You get too many games to play.
Yep. Sure wish this should have been in the indie game of the year. Let me tell you that.
King is watching?
Yeah.
I mean, I know who is.
I don't know what I would have thrown out, but
Andy Cortez is he's a big seller of this game. I don't know. It could have, it probably could have made a spot at the Game Awards on a different year. This is just a really, really, really giant year for indie games. There's also a spot at the Game Awards for a giant monolith that we've talked about before. I'm gonna show this again. TGA monolith. So like we talked about this briefly on another. Well, not briefly. We did we talked about it. Open image, new tab. Give me this thing. So this thing. Can I get a little bigger for everyone? This monolith. Jeff Keighley, the host of the awards, tweeted out a picture of it, called it thick, which was weird. He commented on its thickness. It was one of 3 words he used to describe this thing. Since then,
I don't let Jeff talk about thickness ever.
Yeah, since then, people have gone to visit it. That's where this picture is. This is at night. This is what it looks like. It is a real physical thing out in the Mojave Desert. You can go visit it, and nobody knew what it was. There was speculation. We all knew it was like a promo for like something at the Game Awards. People had speculated Diablo. People had speculated Elder Scrolls,
Doom, other. Eventually, people were like, "It's Lords of the Fallen,
Kratos, God of War, like
God of War."
And then,
like, a big game that's rumored to be coming out. People were throwing it at this thing.
Exactly, yeah. If because like if you look at this thing closely, there's a lot of like demonic looking things, skulls, some like crocodile creature things, and like none of like what you could look at and make out stood out as like any specific IP. It's just like imagery that is used all over the place, right? So it literally could have been anything. And then you had this part that's glowing, this big, I don't know, symbol or something, right? This is what I always viewed at as like, this is going to be the marker that tells us like what this is actually for. And turns out we might have figured that out. Report: the Game Awards statue mystery solved. New Divinity trademark uncovered as new icon matches statue. I think Divinity was another thing that was thrown out there, but so was everything. Every game was like thrown out there. So if you look at the trademark of this circle here with this line coming through it, it looks an awful lot like this thing. Yep. Let me
just a circle.
Oh, okay. I know how to do the browsers. But yeah, so like in the center here, it almost looks better during the day, but it's very reminiscent of each other, right? Like it's hard to say no, this isn't what's happening here. Trademark happened like just now, just before the Game Awards. It looks the same.
And then you look at the other trademarks that they have.
Oh yeah, here's even a comparison of like an overlay for like the trademark and the statue.
Yeah, but if you go to where like you saw the Divinity logo on the right side of the screen, they have the third trademark right there. You can zoom in on it. That is just like the exact like the wings of this logo. Yeah,
this thing down here is what this overlay is here. It's like it's like here's the statue, and then here's one of those trademarks overlaid onto it. So they say, I think this mystery has been solved. Otherwise, that's a massive coincidence. Absolutely. This would be an incredible coincidence. or they're just fucking around. They're like, hey, nobody's claimed this.
Yeah, like let's just go fucking throw up some trademarks real quick.
Yeah, let's just go fuck with people. Let's just throw up a trademark that make people think it's us. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is a new Divinity game, and that's huge.
So have you read the updated stuff that happened on the bottom of this article? I love Larian. So let's go through like the puff about this piece. Larian, Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, making one of the greatest games of all time, without exaggeration. Well,
yeah. Okay, so Larian Studios made like Divinity Original Sin 2, which was considered at the time like one of the greatest RPGs ever made. And then they created Baldur's Gate 3, which is considered one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah. And so like they're out there, and like Larian, not always like the studio, they made Divinity 1 without Original Sin. I think is more of a like Gothic, like if I remember correctly, like the game Gothic, not Gothic. It doesn't matter. And then they eventually pivoted to Divinity Original Sin, which has a more of that Baldur's Gate kind of flavor to it. And then they built off that Original Sin 2, as you said, one of the greatest RPGs, Baldur's Gate. Larian here, fucking out here being like, hey, we don't have any plans for Divinity Original Sin 3. One, it could just be lying. Video game developers fucking love to lie.
They do love to lie.
That being said, this could be Larian being like, hey, we're gonna make Divinity 3 or Divinity whatever. Like we're gonna make a third-person action RPG or first-person action RPG.
Because they do talk about in this article, they let you know like the Divinity series has had multiple different names, and like there's different gameplay to them. There's like Divine Divinity, Beyond Divinity, Divinity 2, and then there's Divinity Original Sin. So it might not be Divinity Original Sin 3, but it could be.
It's like
another
the next thing that Larian is doing, basically. Which is interesting because in a vacuum, pre-Baldur's Gate 3, this doesn't mean a whole, like, this isn't the most exciting thing. Exciting for me, exciting for people who like these, like the niche RPG, like top-down experience. But like this monolith would seem as like maybe far outsees the reveal of Divinity. But now you kind of, all you have to say is, hey, next game by the people who made Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, the people are going to be excited.
Yeah, I think I think Divinity Original Sin was looked at as very, very good. I don't think it ever caught like sales like crazy, but it was considered really, really good. Original Sin 2, like I said, like especially at the time, people were considering it like one of the best RPGs, one of the best like turn-based RPGs ever made. I still don't think the sales were anything like absurd. But I think because those were so good, then they were able to get approached to make Baldur's Gate 3. And that, as we know, has sold like crazy. Everybody has like gone in on that game at some point, it seems like. And I do think like if they just made Divinity and Divinity Original Sin 2, they probably even can't do this Monolith.
Yeah.
Because I think they've made so much money with Baldur's Gate 3. They've just been able to like, let's just spend money on something.
I also love, by the way, that this Belgian studio decided to just put a monolith in the middle of fucking Nevada.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
Yeah. What is the Mojave Desert, right?
Yeah. And then just like leave it alone. That's what I actually am like, I'm really confused about with how the monolith works. Is there anyone checking in on it? Like, are there employees being sent to the Mojave Desert
to scrub off any like graffiti or
yeah, making sure that like they didn't break how like the lights like light up at night.
Yeah.
And then if so, why hasn't anyone been on a lookout for these guys being like, hey, who do you work for?
Also,
oh man,
what happens with this after the awards? Do they take it back? Do they just leave it there?
Yeah. They ship it back to Larian Studios, I guess, like the main one.
There was I saw a tweet. Who knows how, if they just wanted to get impressions and actually knew what it was. I'll actually see if I can find it real quick. I doubt that I liked it or bookmarked it, so I probably won't be able to find it. But basically, someone on the internet was like, hey, this thing popped into the desert and nobody knows what it is. And I'm getting pictures from people sending to me that they were like, this wasn't here last week. And maybe. And it's only possible that this could be some sort of like satanic ritual thing that we weren't supposed to see, or it's something demonic for sure, basically. And people have like destroyed the comments on that person and just been like, this is a video game stunt. Like, chill out.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's well documented that this is a video game stunt, but I just thought it was funny that there are people who are like, oh my god, demons, Satan, rituals, it's all happening. We're not supposed to see any of this.
Listen, if Jeff was out there secretly creating a Hellgate so that we can frack hell and relive the plot of Doom 2016, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It seems like something Jeff would do.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. But yeah, looking at also just going back to it, looking at Larian's production schedule, Original Sin 2014, Original Sin 2 2017, Baldur's Gate 3 official release 2023, early access though 2020.
Okay.
3-3-3-3 even.
2025. Interesting. Heading into 2026.
Yeah. So like, does this whatever is announced early access 2026, or is it like, I don't know how Larian is structured. I don't know if they're a 2-game team studio. They certainly could fucking afford to be a 2-game studio
now. They could, yeah.
So I don't know if this is a release 2026, but I think it's possible we get some sort of playable thing next year about whatever this is.
Yeah, part of my thoughts I had with this, or when I saw this, I looked back in time a little bit at Baldur's Gate 3 and like Divinity Original Sin, and Baldur's Gate 3 was like a fairly big deal with its early access. And had success with it. So like I thought like, oh, whatever this new game is by them, they could be announcing an early access for at some point. They could go back to doing that because it did so well with Baldur's Gate for them. Also, something that I think is funny is I saw a lot of comments during this game's early access period of people just calling it Divinity Original Sin 3 or calling it like a texture pack for like Divinity Original Sin. And boy, how far have we come since then. But yeah, I'm also curious, like, if this is like they said they have no plans of Original Sins 3. If it isn't named that, yeah, do they change the gameplay at all? Because they've had such highly critically reviewed games with like Baldur's Gate and Original Sin 2's like gameplay style with that like turn-based RPG. I know, like, I think you had mentioned one of the divinities was modeled after, what did you say? Gothic. I think the original one maybe was thought to be looked at as Diablo. Oh, hi, Cat.
Yeah, because you're right. Divinity 1 seems very Diablo ARPG. Divinity 2 uses the same engine that Oblivion and Fallout 3 use.
Yes.
So they're more like that than they are like a Gothic.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's exciting. I'm excited to see this at the Game Awards and how this even like works its way into the Game Awards. Are we going to see something happen at the Monolith? Yeah. The game producer's going to walk out of it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. They have solidified themselves as like a like must pay attention to like developing team.
We could have a whole conversation, I think, in the future about these names, like these company names, how like in our youth, right, we talk about BioWare, we talk about like Blizzard, we talk about even like early on Obsidian, to a point we talk about Obsidian now too, but like when people are theorizing, oh, you disappeared. When people are theorizing about like, oh man, I really want a Star Wars game. I want BioWare to make it, right? Like that's what you there are there's a handful of companies that people just go to, that they're like, I want BioWare to make this game. And now in this modern reality, a lot of the old companies have either fallen off for reasons that doesn't fucking matter. They've fallen off. And it's so sick to see a company like Larian make Baldur's Gate 3, and now anytime anyone talks about a license that they like want adapted into a video game, they're like, oh, what if Larian made it?
What if Larian made a Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. And it's so neat to see like a company garner that much goodwill that it feels like the companies of our youth. Granted, does that just make it more anxiety inducing that one day Larian will turn evil? Like, I don't know, maybe. But for now, I'm gonna really enjoy this kick we're on with Larian. You know, people are already talking about how they want Sandfall to do stuff, and I'm like, okay, they got one game. I listen, it's a fucking incredible game. But we should see what their second game is first. You know, people still throw out CD Projekt Red. Like, it's just, we're in this new era of like these, like, there are these big heavy hitter RPG developers that are punching above their weight and have cemented themselves in like the conversation now of just the studio you want to make things.
Yeah. I I don't think this is a multi-game studio like you questioned earlier. So like, hey, that's my food. So if this team was gonna do something where like they were pitched, or they pitched something to a company and they're like, hey, let us make your IP into this type of game or whatever, I feel like we wouldn't see it for a while. I think they made the money to do whatever the hell they want with however many teams they want. But I don't remember ever hearing anything about like, but I feel like we would have heard something like that is basically what I'm already saying. It's like,
yeah, like Larian had like in talks to have this license or that license or whatever.
Yeah, Larian is now hiring for positions related to this IP project or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Also, I wonder, is this the end of the show? Is this the last thing?
So this is tough. Okay, leading up to this, what do we think are shoo-ins for the Game Awards announcements, and what are like the hype pieces? Is Larian's next game like? And so it's like I have to imagine like the things that could possibly be revealed, right? Do you close show with Divinity, whatever this Larian game? Do you close if like? Where does that fall on the tier list? Because I don't think it beats Half-Life 2 if that's fucking real, right?
3.
Like I think or 3, yeah. I think you end with 3 if that's real. Where is Final Fantasy Remake 3 on this list, this totem pole of things you would end the show with? Kingdom Hearts 4. Like what are the games that, because I think Jeff would want to end on a like, I finally fed you peasants the thing you've been asking for, right? So I think those games take priority. But I do think this beats out more Resident Evil Requiem, more Witcher. Like, I do think this beats out a good portion of the field. I think there's a very good chance this is the ending, unless it is one of those like fuck you, I've done it. I'm Jeff Keighley. I have brought you, I don't know, the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer.
Yeah. I don't think. I think this is the end. I think we could see some sort of progression from this monolith throughout the show, and then have it end with like whatever the fuck happens when like the gates of hell actually open. I think this is a big enough game from like a big enough studio to be the end, especially after this like marketing stunt.
Actually, so like you're selling me more on it of like getting the cutting back to like what's the monolith doing kind of thing. It does really feel like a good through line for the production of the event. Because my other concept was like you could just open with monolith. Which you still could do, but I think that if you pace it well, having that like, what the heck, something's happened to the monolith every like fucking 30 minutes during this show that's objectively too long, probably.
It's gonna be like 3 hours.
Yeah, I think that
actually, we have that.
It'd be really sick.
Yeah,
have it with it opening.
And then also just like my thought process with typically runs 3 to 3.5 hours. My thought process with this is like you've already like captured so many people that want to know what this is. If you are just continuously teasing it throughout the show and saving it for the end, like you're gonna get more people, I think, to like watch more of your show.
Yeah.
I think there's probably plenty of people who are just still going to be like, I'll just wait until the show ends to figure out what it is, whatever. But I think there's going to be more people who are like, ooh, what is this? Let's see. And I think if you show it off at the start of the show, you're going to get more people that click away afterwards. Like, all right, that was it. That was the monolith. Wow.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Cause I feel like you ideally you want to open and end on a banger, right?
Yeah.
Ideally you want something to be like, this happened. Then like, who else knows what's going to happen throughout this show? But you're right in that this feels like the next game from Larian feels like an ending thing than like them opening and people be like, oh yeah, cool, a new game from Larian. Like, I don't know, I don't know. There feels like a different energy there. You're right. Where if they opened with like Final Fantasy Remake 3 and they're like, oh god, hell yeah, finally got announced. Like, what else are they gonna fucking finally like show? That's a different energy. I don't know.
Right. Do you think Miss Piggy's there to show off more gameplay of that that puppet boxing game? Felt that boxing?
Man, I forgot that game looks so fucking cool. I don't know if the Muppets would let themselves be used like that.
Well,
I don't know if Jim Henson's ghosts would allow like them to tie into this dark puppet game.
Sure. Tara, I told Tara, I was like, Tara, Miss Piggy's going to be at the Game Awards. She said, yeah, she's making the rounds. She's going to promote her new movie.
Yeah.
Which again, just goes along with the whole like internet thing of just like, we just treat the Muppets as real people.
And they should be.
Yeah.
They are real people. What the fuck are you talking about? One of the predictions I saw for the Game Awards that I really, really liked came from fucking Snowbike Mike. It feels so like possible that I'm convinced it's happening. Which was, it does feel like something Jeff might have revealed a little earlier, but Avatar 3 just came out or coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron's making all the media tour rounds, just yapping about Avatar. You have James Cameron come out to give the award for best game direction. Avatar DLC tie-in. I think that's just a lock. It's not exciting. It's not that exciting, but I'm just like, he was talking about it. I'm like, all of these pieces just feel like they're real now to me. And it's like, we're going to get that Ubisoft Avatar game that people, I think, like.
Yeah. More
DLC
than...
with it. And we're going to fucking yap about Avatar 3.
You think they would make DLC for a movie?
That's like director's cuts?
I don't know. Yeah. So like just a sequel. I don't know. Is that
Fortnite Kill Bill middle movie?
Oh god.
It's kind of DLC.
Apparently they're gonna show that in some theaters as a short, but it's unedited. Because like the Fortnite version, I think they edited out some like dialogue, some swears and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Video games.
That's the show.
Woo!
Wahoo! You get a bunch of games to play.
Yeah,
we got the Game Awards on Thursday.
Man,
what else do we have? We've got. Oh, actually, something I didn't get to see is that I'm just interested is the PC gaming show Most Wanted that happened at the end of last week.
I watched it. Lots of good things, but like kind of a horribly paced showcase.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even though like I typically like Frankie, right? I like all of her bits in the show. Like those are good bits, but like it does that like old annoying thing where like they spent like I was getting actively upset because they spent like 12 minutes on one game, just like talking about it. And I'm like, we need to move on. It was that fucking 70s themed Capture the Flag game. And I don't mean like that game could be good. It could be fun. It does you just as a pacing showcase.
I think you can download that now.
You don't need to spend that long on that game. People have played Capture the Flag. in this
Lot of-
point in their
A
lives.
lot of people have played Capture the Flag or at least Team Fortress.
Like I was the show, but again, plenty of awesome indie games on there. A lot of their big tent pole, like they did the through line of that was they were counting down like the 25 PC gaming showcases, like most anticipated games.
Mm-hmm.
And like they would stop at one and they would have another developer from a different company talk about it, which I thought was neat. Like there would be the guy from like New Blood Interactive, and he would be talking about a game that is nothing like anything New Blood's ever made, but he'd like be hyping it up and being like, "Oh man, like this game is so sick! I love these people over there."
That's cool.
That's kind of
That's
neat.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
but
nice.
having cross development talk, but sometimes it felt like it did. Sometimes it did feel like nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like one of the things was like what Marvel's Blade, and I'm like, but we have no new info, and you're not showing any new info. You're just reminding people that Blade
it's
is the
coming
game
out.
that was announced.
It's coming out. It looks like there's also a Day of the Devs thing tomorrow.
Ooh, exciting. I think there was also something today because I saw someone go live with something.
Someone probably did go live somewhere with something.
It was like a like IGN went. It was like 2025 winter or something. I don't know. So
yeah, Day of the Devs. It's that time of the year again. Join us online the day before the Game Awards for our latest Day of the Devs digital showcase, featuring a freshly curated batch of upcoming indie titles. So yeah, tomorrow, Day of the Dev stuff. Fresh batch of indie titles.
I do love Game of the Day of the Devs.
Yeah.
What's Timothy have for me?
Probably video games. Probably mostly video games. Yeah.
It was a wholesome snack. That's what it was. Wholesome snack 2025 it just happened. And the Frosty Mini. Those are the two things that I saw go live snack. Before.
I assume those are wholesome games. They sure look wholesome.
They certainly do.
There's two games with the word wild and it's spelt the same way, WYLDE. I'm assuming
see the word.
These are the same. Wild Society and Wild Flowers.
I recognize two of these games, and I think that is it.
Let's see
from the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to get to the game?
Moomin game. Moomin Troll. Winter's Warmth.
Yeah, Moomin game looks so cute.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go do the daily game dolls.
I'm gonna try to hang out with the Moomin when I'm in Japan.
That's cool. Good luck.
Thank you.
Don't try to take one home.
You're so big. It's so cool.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah, we'll see you next week talking about probably the cool stuff we saw at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Stay tuned for the game doll.
I yield my time. Bye-bye. Chris, will you wreck?
Okay, bye. It's not working. It's not where there it goes. Bye.